Well, hello everybody. Roger here from tarot-dude.com. And today I'm bringing you another deck review, deck walkthrough. And today we're working actually with the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. Now, I worked with the deck last week on the Daily Tarot Map, my video channel here on YouTube. And a really interesting deck, beautiful artwork. And after I work with the deck on the Daily Tarot Map for a week, I always like to do, if possible, do a little review of it so people can get an idea of what the rest of the cards look like, and as well as delve a little deeper into the decks that we work with, because during the week we only usually get to see about 20 or so cards, so not the entire deck. So what really drew me to this deck initially was Scott Murphy's art, and he is the artist of this deck, and actually he has a very neat website. I don't know what it is offhand, but what I'll do is I'll put a link to it up in the video. So he did the art, and Melanie Marquis wrote the companion guide, which I'll get to in a bit. And actually, I believe that Melanie Marquis was she developed the concept for the deck. So what the deck is, it's a 78 card standard tarot deck of pagan symbolism. And the artwork is very interesting. It features a mix of fantasy, medieval, and modern style. It's also an inclusive deck, so you'll see people of all ethnicities and ages in the deck. It's specifically designed for use in magical practice, spell work, as well as, of course, for tarot readings. So, mentioned it is a 78 card deck, and it follows pretty closely to the Waite Smith tradition. None of the cards have been renamed, so you'll get the same names and order as Waite Smith deck. So that would mean strength is 8 and justice is 11, and the deck is divided into the 4 standard suits: wands, swords, cups, and pentacles. And the court cards are king, queen, knight, and page. Now, there is one major difference to this deck from the Waite Smith, is that the attributions of wands and swords are switched. So what I mean by that is, in the Waite Smith tradition, wands are typically associated with the element of fire, and swords are associated with the element of air. Well, in this deck, wands are associated with air, and swords are associated with fire. And you'll see that in quite a few decks. Actually, I own quite a few decks whose attribution is changed. And to be truthful, I'm not a fan of that. I prefer the Waite Smith and the Thoth system attribution. So if that is a deal breaker for you, something to keep in mind if you don't like that. But you can work around it, and it works pretty well in this deck, I think. The cards themselves, what I love, no borders. So people who have followed me for a while know that I'm a fan of decks with no borders, so the image goes right to the edge of the cards. The titles, the number and the titles are given for each card in full words, all caps, clear font, so very easy to see. The back of the cards, the back of the cards feature, what is that? I think a compass with a pentacle at the center. And then we have a squirrel, a salmon, a wolf, and a hawk at the quarters. That being said, the backs are not reversible. So if that's another deal breaker for you, something to keep in mind. But I really like the artwork. The artwork is very realistic. It doesn't look like it's been photoshopped in or cut and pasted from somebody's photo album. So I think so great. So the detail is very good. And I just love the people. The people are very realistic in the card. So actually it looks like it was done with a paintbrush. So the book is about 200 and some pages, 240 pages. And what's nice about the book is that for each card, it gives you almost a full page black and white image of the card. Now, the majors, for the majors, it gives you a description. I guess you can't really see that there. Description, divinatory meaning, the reversed, and then magical uses for each card. And I think there's not quite as much information for the minors. You get a description, and the reversed description, and then, again, magical uses. Now, the book itself is divided into 6 parts, if I remember correctly. So the first one is Anatomy of a Tarot. It goes over the basic structure of a deck. Tarot deck care and maintenance. And it talks about how to charge your deck with magical intentions and ways to clear your deck if needed. How to read the cards, using tarot for magic, majors, the minors, and then easy tarot spreads. So a very nice deck, very nice book, a lot of information. So I think you'll find this fairly helpful. So I mentioned for every card we have magical uses. So let's see. So what is this one? So the Hierophant. Magical uses for the Hierophant. Good for spells intended to bring order, balance, stability, or normality. It can be used to represent a marriage, and it can also be employed in ritual to represent an oath or to symbolize the structure of society. Reversed, it can be used to break pacts, overthrow the current power structure, transform society, or encourage risk-taking and spontaneity. So that just gives you an idea of how the magical uses for the cards work. Like the Wheel of Fortune adds power to most spells and is excellent for bringing good luck, success, and opportunity. So that is the book. So let's go through the cards, and I'll go through the entire deck and talk a little bit about the cards. So if you are one of those people who don't like to see every card in the deck, then you might want to stop watching sometime through this video. So I'm going to go through every card, because I know a lot of people like to see every card in a deck before they buy, because 1 or 2 cards can really be a deal breaker for some people. And I have decks like that where I love the deck except for a couple of cards, and because of that, I really I don't use the deck regularly. Actually, I think there's a couple of them like that. So on to the cards. So we have the Fool. The standard magician symbolism, what we're used to seeing. High Priestess. There are some people who had a problem with the High Priestess card because she doesn't have any face. Typically this is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. And some people didn't like the idea that there's no face for the High Priestess. I guess it gives you the idea that the answer isn't at face value, but the answer is within, that you have to look a little deeper to find the secrets of the High Priestess. And we got the Empress. Isn't she cool? I love the green Empress. Beautiful card. Emperor, that really gives the idea of raw power and strength here. And the Hierophant, this is another card where the figure doesn't have a face. The face is blocked, or I don't know if it's behind something here or what. I find it interesting that both of the cards that have to do with religion, the High Priestess and the Hierophant or the High Priest, both have no faces. So again, we may have that idea of, can't look at the surface, but we have to delve in a little deeper. What I also like about this deck is, this is your traditional religion, society, conventions, and I love the fact that notice that she has a moon hidden behind her back. So saying that sometimes you do have to follow convention, but you can still be yourself. Although sometimes you might have to keep it hidden. I think many of us can relate to that. Lover's card. Very cool lovers. I like the white and the red robe. Kind of reminds me of the alchemical wedding with the red line and the white eagle. Chariot. Flying through the cosmos. That's a beautiful card, isn't it? So is the Strength card. So instead of holding the mouth of a lion, she's actually riding the lion with her wand in the air. So just by force of will. I like it. And we have the Hermit. It's a fun Wheel of Fortune card. The blindfolded monkey. And here we have a standard depiction of justice. Scales of justice. Hanged Man. This is much different than the Hanged Man that we're used to, with the figure being held upside down, finding illumination. Here, you get more of an idea of punishment here. I personally find this card kind of creepy, but I'm one of those people, just the idea of being tied up or bound doesn't bode well with me. Death is kind of creepy too. So we have like demons gathering up body parts. Temperance is cool. The Devil looks like some sort of a demon dimension. So again, you don't have really the same kind of ideas that we have with the Waite Smith, or at least the depiction of those ideas. You really get the ideas of debauchery and definitely a lower primal demon instincts. And a typical tower depiction. Injustice. The Star. Moon. This is a cute moon. I like the wolf and the little dog. I don't know, is that a puppy or a dachshund? That's a cool card. The Sun. So instead of the two children riding a horse or in a garden like we usually see, we have Mother with a spinning wheel with a baby on the lap, and then one playing in the fields. Very bright, sunny sun card. And then Judgment. Rising from the ashes, being born again. This is a nice card of rebirth here. I like it. And the World. So now we move on to the minors. So Ace of Wands. So keep in mind, wands in this deck are associated with the element of air, not fire. This card, actually, the Two of Wands, came up during the Daily Tarot map. And it kind of has the meaning of the Two of Swords in the traditional Waite Smith deck. Because here he is, he's bound to these wands here, but he can move if he wants to. So just like he's not making a decision, he's just choosing to remain where he is. And then you'll see birds throughout the wand suit here as well. And then Three of Wands. Here she is, Falcon. So putting your work out in the world, releasing it. And fasting, looks like. I really love the inclusiveness of this deck. So we have two women here, which looks like a hand fasting ceremony. And also, I believe in the Two of Cups, we have two men depicted. But we usually see a male and a female depicted. The card of romance. I always call the Two of Cups the date card, but again, we'll be coming to that one. Five of Wands. Here we have four blindfolded gentlemen battling with sticks, perhaps unaware that there's a hornet's nest above their heads. Six of Wands, card of victory. And then Seven of Wands. So here, movement, Lord of Swiftness. So very similar to the Waite Smith depiction of, here you're defending yourself, waiting for the other shoe to fall, as it were. Ten of Wands, carrying the heavy burden. Page of Wands. The Knight of Wands is fun, flying on what looks to be, I don't know, is it a falcon? Could be a falcon, flying on a giant bird. I like it. It's very neat. And the Queen of Wands. And then the King of Wands. So now we move on to the Cups. So let me clear these out of the way. So Ace of Cups. Here's the card I was telling you about. So here we have the two males together. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily mean romance, but it does have that connotation, romance. Like I mentioned, I call this the date card, but it also has to do with union, partnerships as well. But I do like it that they've chosen to pick two males and then two females for the Four of Wands. And here, Party Hardy. This is a fun card. Here's a Four of Wands, the brooding, going within, perhaps not seeing what's around you, or refusing to see. Five of Cups here. Did I say Wands for that last card? I meant Cups. Oh, Six of Cups. I like this. This is the nostalgia card, connecting with your past. So here we have the older couple on the bench, perhaps reminiscing about when they were children. Many different levels possible for this card. Very neat. And we have the Seven of Cups. Then here we have the signs for all of the planets, the 7 planets. Eight of Cups. Moving on. I like this, Nine of Cups. You know, this is often called the wish card. So I think it's cool that they depicted a genie here. And the Ten of Cups. Family, joy, happiness, fulfillment. This is kind of an odd page of cups, I thought. It looks like he's hogging all the water while they're begging for him to share. It's not a familiar depiction of that card. Knight of Cups is fun. Here he is riding a giant fish. I guess that's perhaps pointing to his Pisces attribution. Knight of Cups is associated with Pisces. Queen of Cups. And the King of Cups. Here he has the trident of Poseidon. Now we move into the swords. And remember, swords are the element of fire. So we see fire, some of these cards. You also see wolves throughout this suit. So Two of Swords there. Three of Swords. Here we have your standard heart pierced by swords. Four of Swords. Interesting depiction. The Four of Swords is a card of rest, recuperation, rejuvenation, rest from strife, as it were. So I think it's kind of odd that he's chosen to take a nap on the snow with 4 wolves surrounding him. So either the wolves are with him or he's about to be lunch. Interesting card, though. Five of Swords. And again, you see the swords that he's probably taken from others. Conflict. And Six of Swords, moving away from conflict, moving into a better situation. Seven of Swords. Sneaky bastard card. Here he is. Looks like he's stealing swords. Even the wolves are sleeping. Didn't hear him. Eight of Swords. Here he is. Bound. Unable to move. Stuck. Feeling like there's no way out. And just like the Wade Smith depiction, he can... Actually, his legs are tied in this one. I was going to say he could just simply walk out, but I forgot about his legs being tied. But he better make a move soon, because it looks like those flames are coming up from behind him. The Nine of Swords. Worry and anxiety card. And Ten of Swords. It's not going to get much worse than that. Looks the Lord of Ruin. And Page of Swords. I like the knight. Looks like he's on some sort of bull oxen. And the queen. And the king. For some reason, he reminds me of Odin. And now we move into the Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles with the squirrel. And here he is, juggling, try to keep things afloat, keep his balance. I think many of us can relate to that card, juggling many things at the same time. This card has kind of the idea of an apprenticeship to it, instructing others, maybe. Four of Pentacles. Here he is, either burying his treasure from prying eyes, hoarding it. And the Five of Pentacles. This card came up during the Daily Tarot Map last week. Being shut out into the cold, lock of the door, being cast out. The Lord of Material Trouble. And then here we have the Six of Pentacles, the sharing card, giving and receiving. I like this card. It's a very simple depiction for the Seven of Pentacles here of nurturing, of her simply watering a plant, nurturing that which you want to grow. Eight of Pentacles. This is the work card. And here he is building a little shelter. I like, so cute for the squirrel and the dog. But that's the labor card. A little different depiction of the Nine of Pentacles. We have instead of a falcon, a hooded falcon, we have a hooded woman with a hooded squirrel. To be truthful, she doesn't look as content as a woman you usually see in this card. Or I should say the figure we usually see in this card. Sometimes it's a male. And the Ten of Pentacles, the card of home and family. And the Page of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, what looks to be a giant squirrel. It's fun. So actually, you see squirrels in all the cards, looks like, or many of the cards in this suit. And then lastly, the King of Pentacles. So that is the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. So it's a deck really rich in symbolism and beautiful beautiful artwork, detail, and color. So I think this would be a good for anybody who likes this kind of artwork, or I should say, if you're a practitioner of the magical arts, you might find this deck helpful as well. So that's the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. Thank you so much for watching, and then I will talk to you all next time. Bye-bye.